Okay. Hi, my name is Robin Raju. I work as an account director for India at Everbridge, and I'm operating out of Mumbai. At the outset, I would like to thank all the participants who have registered and also took time to join us for this webinar. At Everbridge, we provide software solutions for organizations to manage responses to critical events when they are disrupted by physical incidents like fire or flood, or digital incidents like an IT outage or a ransomware attack. Well, in today's session, we are going to talk about how you can use this power of communication to engage your employees and have a 5-star employee experience. Today's flow is going to be like this. I'm going to walk you through a couple of slides, bringing your attention on the need for employee engagement and what are the options available today. Of course, we have some polling questions just to gather your thought processes. And we have a demonstration that would be given by Amresh. And post that, we will head on to the Q&A session. So the purpose benefit from this session is you walk away with the thought that during a situation when your primary communication is compromised, how you can depend on a secondary means of communication, which is compelling and effective. So with that, I get onto my slide. So we will start with a quick polling question, and you would see the polling question on your screen. Now, I request everybody to take the polling questions. I'll read out the question. How do you communicate with internal employees today? Do you use emails? Do you use SharePoint? Or do you use any other third-party application? That's the question. We'll wait for about 10 seconds, and then we'll move forward. Great. So we have 64% participants who say emails, and 11%, sorry, nobody on SharePoint, and 36% on third-party applications. Thank you very much. All right. I hope you can see my screen. What is on the screen is basically a situation of Frankfurt Airport. So what happened is an excavator accidentally damaged the communication lines. As a result, they couldn't reach out to their employees or the quick response team who could restore this back to normal. And as a result, they had this message on the screens that there is an IT outage, and we apologize for any inconvenience. Here is another use case, a situation rather. Basically, these are live situations. I mean, something that has happened. So this is an example of Motel 1, a hotel which had their reservation systems compromised by a ransomware. As a result, they couldn't let their guests check into the rooms. And now that your primary communication system is compromised, how would you engage the people who can help? Here is a third situation wherein there is a complete mobile blanket disapproval. I mean, you can't bring the mobile app onto the screens, onto the floors, because you have your brokerage staff who has to be paying attention to all these multiple screens. So the question that I have is, how do you inform these people about an incident during a duty of care? Here is another example of a paint manufacturing firm. Of course, they don't allow mobile phones for reasons due to fire hazard, and of course, it is a very noisy environment. Now, how would you alert them about an incident? considering that it's a noisy environment and there is fire hazards also associated with it. Last but certainly not the least is not a tech savvy user. How would you in a simple way engage them with an information? These are some nuggets or thoughts that I would like to leave with you as we get into the today's webinar core thought processes. I hope you can see on your screen, there is different, what we're presenting right now are the different channels of communication that attune to the different situations that you experience. The situation can be a life safety situation, it could be an operational situation, or it could be a connection situation. So depending upon the nature of prioritization, you have an option to select an appropriate communication mechanism to engage your audiences. So whether it is a critical communication or a priority based or a relevant or an engaging or a social communication, you have the option, or you need the option to select what is more relevant to the audience so that you are able to have 100% readership within the window of time that you have. Let's look at these one by one. So here is an example of a critical communication, something that you should not miss. Even if you are giving an important presentation like this, or you are in front of your customers, or if you are on your shop floor. So how do you engage your people? Here is an example where you can take over the screen, whether it is a desktop or a mobile phone or a visual display unit, anywhere, and then communicate to your audience. Here is an example of a priority-based communication that a cyber attack is underway, and how do you get them engaged with a particular communication so that they take the required action? An example is like, see, there is a ransomware attack, and you don't want your employees to open their laptops and connect to the system. So how do you engage them? Here is an example how you can actually blend text and video together and engage your employees with the action that you would like to have. A very pertinent example of hand washing during COVID days. This is with regards to relevancy. The use case can be your leadership want to inform employees about a very important change. And here we are using the aid of visuals, videos. So what we are doing is that we are taking over the screen and converting this into a digital billboard. Your laptop screen, your visual display units, or your mobile phones into a digital billboard and communicating to those people. Here is an example of how you can engage your employees with a Q&A. Maybe the learning and development team would like to take a quick survey about how was the last session. One of our customers use this every day. You know what they do? They send 3 smileys on the face of the desktop. One is a smiling face, a green one, second is an orange, and the third is a red one. The question is simple. How are you feeling today? Every day on the screen. And you know what? Their HR is able to have something called as an employee sentimental analysis across 365 days of every employee. And unfortunately, they are also able to pull out some of the insider threats from employees, because employee behavior pattern is visible to their leadership or their HR from that simple use case. Last but certainly not the least is celebrations. Now, you can make the celebrations personal by having these kind of communications put up on the screen. So I walk you through different mechanisms of communication, which is apt for the audience, depending upon the relevancy and the situation and their capacity to change with the technology. Right now, let's quickly look into how this is done. Of course, Amresh would give us more idea about this during the demonstration. So how it works is very simple. This is a SaaS platform. You have your access, you log into this platform, and within this platform, you can create your content. You don't have to write any scripts. You just drag and drop and create the multiple templates that we have, hundreds of templates that we have. Drag and drop, create your own content, personalize it with your corporate logos, colors, font, whatever your policy asks you to do from that point. And then push it onto the SnapCom servers, and from there you can select whom you want to send, when you want to send, which device you want to send. If you want to send recurrence, that every day 9 a.m. this should be the communication. Every day 9 a.m. this should be the lock screen or the wallpaper on the systems in a snap of a finger. That's the power of communication. Here is a quick view about the options that is available. Of course, you have the SnapComms mobile app, which is part of the Everbridge, and you are able to have these different modalities of communication. You can have alerts, tickers, screensavers, surveys, quizzes, wallpapers, lock screens, and newsletters, and maybe even more. Some of these we will see during the demonstration. At this point in time, I would like to introduce the second polling question for today's webinar, and you would see it on your screen right now. Well, I would read out the question to you. The question is, does your existing communication solution meet the standards of your operating conditions and diverse workforce? Just giving you the example of the shop floor or brokerage staff or people in the areas where they cannot carry their mobile phones. Does it have relevance to the operating conditions in the diverse workforce? Are you able today to engage them with your existing communication? I'll play some music for you while the question is coming down. Here we go. Sorry. So from the voting, we have 60% saying the answer is no, and 40% the answer is yes, while we have 52% participation so far. Okay, we don't have a nota button, so please either exercise yes or a no. All right, we take that and we will move forward. All right, so with that, I would hand this session over to Amresh, who would walk us into the demonstration, and we will see the power of the platform and how you can do what I just showed you in these slides. Over to Amresh. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin. Yeah, so this is how basically the SnapCom platform looks like once you log in. Left hand side, we have some menu bar where we'll have some additional controls to the platform. Below, we have a dashboard which shows the published and expired contents which we have published recently. Now, when we'll start creating or publishing contents, there are a couple of approaches we need to follow. First thing is we can create a content from the scratch using various channels which Robin just displayed you, like desktop alerts, tickers, and wallpapers, screensavers. The another approach is we have some folder options available here with which we can create some folders, we can create some predefined templates, and we can use those templates to save our time. Now, to create contents, the straightforward approach is we can directly click on create content. And first thing, it will give us a library. Okay, and these are basically some of the predefined templates we can use, which will save our time. For example, if we'll go to the Human Resources and Employee Engagement tab, here we have some predefined templates available. And remember, the objective of communication is not like only the time of crisis we will send it. Maybe we can send it to wish some birthday wishes. Maybe we can, publish some communication for some anniversaries or day-to-day activity. So these are some predefined templates available for that. We can directly choose the templates and we can start customizing and we can sending it. Apart from that, the another approach we have is we can build our own templates. So these are basically the channels which we are talking about. And most of the channels which we are using currently is desktop alerts, screensavers, video alerts, lock screen, and wallpapers, because people are spending most of the time on the systems, right? So anything which will pop out to the screens will be much more attentive rather than going to the mailbox, checking the email. Now, once we have decided whether we have to start creating the templates from the scratch, or we can simply go to the specific folder where we have created our predefined templates, it will be easy for us to choose. Now, for example, I have already created a desktop alert templates here, which will help me save some time, right? Instead of creating it from the scratch. Now, here I have taken an example of investment proofs because this is a regular use case we are getting from our customers where in the starting of the financial year, we are requesting them to submit their proofs. And believe me, this is a hard task to the HR team to make the employees to submit their declarations and the year of the end to submit their actual proof. Now, this way, we can use desktop alerts and other mode of channels to publishing the same contents in different modalities, right? So here I have created a desktop alert using various, content like images, then was, and some hyperlink available here. And this platform is completely a drag and drop, right? So once I will hover over the platform, it will allow me to which are the places we can modify. For example, if I have to modify these images, the pretty straightforward thing is I will click on the edit, I will choose the image which I need to put here, and it will be there. Same way here, I can change the heading of the content, okay, and I can change the font, change the colors, everything. So each of these boxes will give you a unique customization feasibility. Now with that, we have another mode which is a designer mode, which will allow you to add some additional tools to the content. Like for example, if you have to add an image, I can simply drag and I can place it here and it will help me to upload a new image with a new feed. So that's simple. It is like we just need to drag and drop what exactly we need to publish it. And remember, these tools we are looking at here is not static. These are very dynamic according to the channels. Like for example, if I want to if I want to publish a video alert, it will give me a tool to upload a video, like whether from YouTube or from Vimeo or from any other mode of database. And once the template is ready, we can simply choose the targeted audience here. And also we can set some recurrent settings. Like if I have to remind it every 2 days, every 3 days, I can set it up so I don't need to follow up manually every time, right? And once that has been published, we'll also see the success reports in a while, how you can extract those information in terms of report. Now, let me show you some content which I have created using different channels. Like for example, this is how the desktop alerts look like. Okay, let me restart the preview again, so which will give you a better understanding. So desktop is basically first thing, the pop-up will be appear here. And once they will click on read now, the content will be visible, right? So right hand side, the pop-up will appear. This is all customizable, that what content you want to mention it on the pop-up, what content you want to publish it on the screen, everything is customizable. So once I will hit on read now, the content will be appear on the center of the screen, right? And now here we have also a feasibility to add a hyperlink here. For example, here I have given a submit link so that the employee can directly click on this submit option and it will redirect to the portal where they can submit their investment proof or declaration. So no need to go and open another browser and log into the portal. You can directly add the hyperlink there. So that's the flexibility we are allowing to the employees to directly submit the proofs from the screen. With that, we can also publish the same contents to the mobile app, right? So this is how the mobile app content will look like. Once they will click on it, it will be get displayed, and all these features like clicking on hyperlink will be also in there. So we have the flexibility of publishing this contents to desktop and mobile app. Now, if I want the same contents to publish with tickers, so this is how the tickers looks like. It will be scroll here. And also if you want to give the hyperlink here, I can do that here. We can give the link here and it will redirect to the portal where they will submit the investment proofs, right? So everything what you're looking here, the images, the colors, the scrolling speeds, the font size, everything is customizable. Now, The very feasible thing which I believe is a lock screen, a wallpaper, or a screensaver, because these are the three things where we are always looking at, right? So this is basically a wallpaper I have created, and this can be published. For example, if you see, okay, from today it will be published to some specific days. We can define the duration here. So every time, every day they will log in, they will be looking at it and make sure they are submitting their investment declaration on time. Now, once this active exercise has been completed, it's time to get some inputs that how many employee has been submitted and how many employee has not been submitted. So for that, we have a survey channels available with which we can just give a simple question: have you submitted your investment proof? They're going to respond with yes or no, and they can submit it. And with those responses, we can analyze, okay, uh, whoever has not been submitted, then we can take the necessary actions. So this way we can use different mode of channels to publish our contents, to make sure they are getting the information, they are getting the attention, and we are getting the information about, okay, the information is reaching out to the targeted audience. Now, once they have taken their action, like they have clicked on read now, they have submitted their survey forms, it's time to extract this information in terms of report. Now, how do you get this? So once this activity has been completed, we need to come to the dashboard, and here you will get a list of the content which has been published, right? And right to that, we have a column which is success. Now, this is basically the column which will give you the information on a graphical presentation. Now, if I click on it, it will take me to a dashboard where it will show this information: how many employees I have targeted, how many employees it has been reached, how many employees it has not been reached, it was unsuccessful. And also, there is an option here to republish the same content to the unsuccessful one. So no need to do any manual task of filtering that, okay, 50% employee has not been submitted, let's choose them and publish it. We can directly republish to the unsuccessful list here, right? Now, when we're talking about reports, below we have three columns of report, and these columns varies from channels to channels, right? These are very dynamic based on the channels. You will get, maybe for some channels, you will get some additional column, right? To extract the report, it's very straightforward. We can simply go to the export as column and we can select the correct rows and all rows. Also, we are giving a feasibility to customize the columns. For example, if you want to add or remove some more columns to the existing report format, you can do that. For example, email IDs, then content ID, anything. And once you have chosen the required column, you can simply come to this and you can click on export all or export current rows. And this will give you a CSV format. So this way you can extract the reports. Now, in terms of monitoring the responses, so here we have an option which I would like to highlight is about click-through drill down. So this is basically, if you remember, we are giving a hyperlink here. So we are monitoring each and every activity, right? We can also monitor how many people have clicked on it. So this is basically a beautiful feature of knowing that, okay, if you are giving any hyperlink, if you are giving any content, whether people have downloaded this, people have clicked on this, everything will getting monitored. Like when it has been published to the employees, when they have started viewing it, when they have stopped viewing it, whether they have clicked on the link or not, and when they have closed the event, right? So these reports will give you a detailed analysis of what happened to the employees, which steps they have followed and which steps they have not followed. So this is basically a quick overview of how you can create the content using, you build your own, or you can just choose the predefined templates from the folders. You can publish them, you can send a recurrence to follow up, and once the activity has been completed, you can extract the reports and share with your management. So this is all about how we are publishing content and monitoring those responses. Handing over to you, Robin. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Amresh. Well, you would have seen how we are able to bring novelty or maybe freshness to something you do every day, which is communication. One of our studies says that with effective communication, you are able to add 10% to the overall organization revenue. Now, it's time for us to have the third polling question. So let me put that in front of you. Yeah, you would see the question on.
Robin, we can see your presenters mode. If you can change the display setting to duplicate. Thank you.
Okay, so we have 71% who says that they do not have a reliable, effective secondary communication system if threat actors take down their primary communication tool. Right. Okay, thank you for the response. It's time now for question and answers. And the floor is open. If you'd like to share some questions, we have some questions already that have come to us. We'll take that questions. And I would request Rupit if he can moderate the question and answer that has come up so far. Thank you.
Yes. Robin, so I will start with the live question, and then I have multiple requests as in questions via email, but we will hold 3 or 4 and then this live one. So Nishant is basically asking, does our software requires SCCM or iTune integration?
Yeah, this is the question is, do we need SCM or Intune integration?
SCCM.
SCCM. All right. Okay. I would pose this question if Amresh can support it from a technical standpoint. Amresh, the question is, do we need SCCM or Intune to support the deployment for this?
So Robin, it's not mandatory to have those settings for deployment because it's basically a silent installer where we can, deploy it to the respective system. So if I'll directly say, it's not mandatory to have iTunes and SCCM for the deployment.
Okay. Now I would understand that you want to do an enterprise-wide deployment, and that's the idea here, right? Yeah. So absolutely fine. See, we have a good number of Fortune 100 customers who use this platform, and I'm sure that they use such kind of platforms to ensure that they have a mass deployment and they're able to manage the application. So the answer is yes, but we can get into a one-on-one discussion to drive this further down the line. Thank you for that opening question. Back to Rupit.
Yeah. So Robin, leading question from this, which I received on email, can your software send alerts to different groups spread across locations?
Okay. So the question is, can we engage employees who are spread across different territories, different countries? Is that the question?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So the answer is yes. So irrespective of where an employee is based out of, you can engage them with a communication. For example, you can have a message sent at 9 a.m. IST or 9 a.m. wherever in the world with a particular message, so that when it is 9 a.m. in their country, they would get a particular communication. We have people who do that. So I think that example answers that question. Thank you.
Okay. Another one is, can we track the effectiveness of our notifications?
Yeah, I think Amresh has answered that. So since these were prior questions, so yes, definitely you can. And see, you not only can see who has got the communication, but you have something called a success rate also. So for example, if you go by what Amrish had shown, let's suppose you are doing a question and answers, and you have sent a link for people to answer that, then you can find what is the success rate of that question and answer, how many people have not only read it, but completed that. And you can set your recurrences that the people who have not completed that question and answer, SnapComms would send a reminder to them so that they are able to complete it. As a matter of fact, I would say our customers are able to save a lot of time and effort by avoiding any duplication of effort by automating their communications using SnapComms. Thank you.
Okay. Another question is, can you tell us who are your customers in India?
See, as I said, we have Fortune 100 customers around the world. Maybe I can take names of some of them, which is Vodafone. We have people from manufacturing. We have people from finance who use the platform. Again, if as a part of our sales cycles, sometimes customers do ask for references, and we arrange reference checks for them, with the customer. But I would like to relate just that much, that these are the customers that we support. Now that also is a testimony. So when you say there is a Fortune 100 customer that we support, so understand that these are enterprise customers who have their own serious due diligence practices of validating our technical provenness, and also the financial stability and compliance to security and things like that, and then deciding and signing a contract with us. So maybe I can have an extension of this discussion if that impacts a decision making with anyone on a one-to-one basis offline.
Okay, Robin, one more question which I got on this live webinar. What happens if the internet is down? Does this need constant internet access, or does it also work offline?
Well, I would request Amresh if you can support this question. So the question is, what happens if there is no internet? Can they engage their employees if there is no internet?
So usually, Robin, our server, there is a settings in the backend where we define that what is the duration the SnapComms will look for new content, right? So for example, it's every 60 minutes, every 120 minutes. So the answer is yes, because to get the new content, it has to be connected to the web. For example, now I have published some content and the internet broke down, and after 10 minutes, I have published something. So it will definitely have to connect to the server to sync those new communications. So yes, definitely we need an internet connectivity to get the new content to the employee's display.
Yeah, right. Maybe the straightforward answer is that this is a SaaS solution. It has to ping to the SnapComms servers to check for communication, and then push the communication. Hence, we need. Yeah. Was there somebody was adding to it? Yeah.
Yeah, I can add a little bit. So yes, Amresh, you're right. So in order for us to push out the new notification, you need the internet connection. But if I've scheduled something which needs to be, let's say I've scheduled already in the server, and then the internet has gone down, then it will still work in an offline mode. So for example, what I mean is that if I've scheduled a notification to go out at 6 p.m. today, and the internet has gone now, at 6 p.m. if there is no internet, the notification will still go out to that particular system or the computer, because it's already been downloaded in the local the
client,
the MDM, local client. Yes, so it's already downloaded. So the answer is yes and no. In order for you to push out new notification, you will need the internet for it to sync. But if it has already been synced, so if it is scheduled something that tomorrow morning 8 a.m. on today, sometime 1 hour after now, and then I lose internet connection, that notification will still go out without an internet. It will still come up to my screen. I hope that's clear.
Sure.
Thanks.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. By the way, that was Sam, who manages alliances for Everbridge. He's based out of our Singapore office. Thank you, Sam, for that nugget of wisdom over there. Great. Moving to the next question.
Robin, last one. Can you integrate with HRMS?
Yeah, sure. So with regards to integrations, we have deployed several integrations with Workday. I think this is the most prominent one that we have come across, Workday. But yes, if you have any native applications, we can use the connectors that we already have. Now let's assume if we don't have any connectors, then all we can do is you can do an API based connection and support that. Maybe Amresh can add more to it from a technical relevance.
Yes, Robin. So that's completely feasible to integrate with the local HRMS, where the data will flow to the system. Based on that, the groups will be get created, so you don't need to manually create the groups. I think we got one question related to, for example, employees work in different location and they combine in one group. So those things can be automated through the API integration, so that there will be no manual creation of groups, and it will be automatically synced, and we can directly target those groups from SnapComms.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Amresh. All right. Are there any other questions for us, Rupit?
No, Robin, all good. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Before we close, I want to tell you that we really appreciate you taking time from your busy schedule this Tuesday, which also happens to be maybe the first working day for some of you, because in some parts it was holiday yesterday. So really appreciate it. Thank you very much. You can come back to us if you have any questions. If you want us to do something called as a discovery call, where what we do is that we try to understand your communication challenges and just to see if we can help you or not, so that discovery calls we can do, just reach out to us and we can do that 20-minute call with you. You want to do a trial on SnapComms, it is available on the website. No credit card details needed, nothing. You can just go access and let us know if you need any help. One comment that I would like to make is again from one of my customers who is in the, it's an MNC in the insurance business. Now, what they do is, as a part of their compliance to ESG, their findings from their consulting firm was every single email contributes 50 grams of carbon. Every single email that is pushed out to all their employees consumes 50 grams of carbon. So as a part of their carbon footprint reduction, they were moving away from communicating on emails for certain communications, which is relevant to all their employees. And they were using the Everbridge SnapComms platform. Why? Because you send that communication to them, and then after a period of time, that communication gets deleted. However, the email still resides. So one email, 50 gram, multiplied with 13,000 employees that they have worldwide, it's creating such a big impact for them. So this is how they are utilizing the platform for reducing the carbon footprint. We have more such stories, where people are not depending on critical events for SnapComms, but even day-to-day operational things are moving away from emails and SharePoints to SnapComms, so that you are able to have a better readership. Once again, thank you very much for your time. And I would like to thank my colleagues, Rupit, for coordinating this session, our partner, Jama Tech, Monica, and Amit for supporting this session, Amresh for delivering such a very engaging demonstration, and Sam for supporting it from the Alliance side. We look forward to engage with you in the future. And with that, we close the session. Thank you very much. Take care and have a good day.